Welcome to the In My Opinion Show with Ronald, Barrington, Robinson, and friends. Seen on internet 24 hours, 7 days a week. You can view the In My Opinion Show every Saturday at 6 p.m. and every Wednesday at 8:30 on Comcast Cable Channel 17 in Flint, Michigan. You can also view the In My Opinion Show on Channel 68 Comcast Cable Detroit. You can also view the In My Opinion Show on Channel 20, which is downriver. I want to welcome our millions of viewers worldwide, but I especially want to welcome my very talented co-hosts. We have Miss Jackie Williams.
Hello, everyone.
Miss Denise Smith-Allen.
Hello.
Dr. Allen.
That's right.
All right.
Dr. Allen. Okay.
Okay. Mr. Henry Hatter.
Hi, Ron. They're all.
Okay.
Let's talk about affordable health care. The Republicans had over 30 years to develop affordable health care, but didn't. They have since 2008 tried to overturn or bring a plan to the table. They have been thwarted over 60 times to overturn Obamacare as well. Their theme is repeal and replace, but have not a plan. Okay? ACA certainly does not have all desired, but covers millions of people that will otherwise have no health care. The plan that recently was brought to the table by the Republicans would have denied millions, and future projections would have denied millions more. I think, as I mentioned, the Affordable Care Act, known as Obamacare, it doesn't satisfy everybody, but it's better than nothing at all. The Republicans have no plan whatsoever. All you hear about is replace and repeal, replace and repeal. That has been their theme, okay, in the past year, okay, and they still haven't brought anything to the table. Their last opportunity was here a few weeks ago, all right. It did not pass muster, okay. So, folks, everybody should have insurance. Okay, we are one of the only industrialized nation that doesn't have a national health care plan. Canada insures everybody. I know for a fact because I lived over there for years. All right, one of the best insurance policies and programs in the world. Okay, Jackie, on affordable health care, I'm sure you have some thoughts.
I'm very happy that they weren't able to replace it with this ridiculous system that they had come up with. Even the hospitals and the doctors spoke out against it because it was going in the other direction. And the purpose of us having affordable health care, the reason why I'm calling it affordable, because most people don't know that Obamacare is affordable health care. And as soon as they hear Obama, they don't want to be bothered with it, but it's just affordable health care. Let's just call it that. And what they did was they had went back and reversed a lot of things that were issues, like such as pre-existing conditions. And so everybody kept asking, will you be able to be insured if you had a pre-existing condition? Well, they were like, well, yeah, you'll be able to be, covered for a year, and then after a year you'll go back into a pool. So we're right back to scratch. And so I'm very proud of all of the people that got together with their senators and had these town hall meetings, and I'm glad that they were able to be heard because we were not on the same page as the Republicans.
And that went across the spectrum, okay?
Oh,
Republicans and Democrats.
That's right.
All right, refused to...
only 35 Republicans.
Doesn't matter. It didn't go. It didn't pass muster. Denise?
Yes. Okay. What are my thoughts? I guess I concur with Jackie in terms of it still being the law of the land. People need insurance. They need to have their health issues addressed. Although we know that it is not a perfect plan, it is a plan. And what I really, really appreciated was the outpouring during the various town hall meetings of people, and there were people of all nationalities there who were concerned about not only pre-existing, but the fact that they had children who had special needs. They also had children that were in college. There was just a litany of concerns that the new administration was trying to either dismantle or just take away totally. So, it's so sad that, here it is, that it's something that is a benefit to the American people, that instead of trying to repeal and replace, why not build on it and allow that legacy to go forth? But the whole idea is it's Obama, and they want to dismantle everything that he put in place. Making America great again. That was the mantra, that was the cry. And so those kinds of things that were in place, including the Affordable Care Act, were on the chopping block and on the table from day one. So I'm just hopeful that people will, continue to be vigilant. And, because it's going to come back up again. We've got 4 years, unfortunately, and we'll have to deal with this issue again. And we're hopeful that people will come back out and they will be just as concerned about their health and the health of their loved ones, so that this will continue to be in place for years to come.
And like what you were saying, Denise, is this repeal and replace and anything that Obama has instituted, all right? I see racism here, all right? I see racism here, okay? Because how can you deny women, white women, black women, all right? How can you take away, these insurances for these folks, the elderly, okay? I'm sorry. I mean, and other things that Trump has done to dismantle, President Obama's legacy. I think it's horrendous. It's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. All right. Trump keeps preaching to his base. All right, white males and poor whites. All right. But anyway, so I don't get off key here. Henry, I'm sure you have a few things to say.
Thank you. Write this down on the wall, and I want the audience to write that down on the wall too. Before the end of this decade, we will have a national health care policy. Ingrained. Now look at what has happened, guys. Back in 1900, President Roosevelt, Teddy, wanted a national health care plan. We worked through all of those years striving to achieve what we achieved in 2008 or 9. And so the Republicans didn't like the health care plan. It raised the cost of health care $2 trillion to provide for 20 million people. Or was it 40 million? It's one of those. I think it was 20 million. So many Americans thought that was too costly, and we would never pay for that. It was really too costly, and we didn't. Besides, the United States already had a national health care plan. It was called Medicaid, Medicare. All it needed to do was just be retweaked with conditions like elements like the Affordable Care Act has. Leave the kids on your health insurance policy until they're 25 years old.
26
years old. Number 2, provide for pre-existing conditions. Now, who would turn that down? Democrats or Republicans? Identify those Republicans out there that would turn that down. Say it isn't worth them. You can really lose your whole fortune just on pre-existing conditions for a child.
Sure.
That's right.
And most Americans don't want to see that. We're a rich country, at least we were. We may be declining a little bit, but while we still have the wealth, I believe that most Americans would want us to share the wealth while it exists. And that's why I say before the end of this decade, we will have a national health care policy. Why? The handwriting is on the wall. The Democrats have already accepted it. Now all you got to do is get the Republicans to tweak that so it becomes part of the law of the land. It will be as worthwhile as what's a stable right that we've achieved in the last 20 years. More women in the workplace. We've accomplished that. It may not be where most women want it to be, but we're moving in that direction. Healthcare will also move in that direction. And I think that we need to work together to enable this so that it happens. Being negative about it won't allow it to happen. It just completely fragments the process.
Well, tell your compatriots in D.C. to stop fighting it. All right.
Well, no,
they need to be Republicans. Should act civilized.
Well,
all right. People talk this mess about insurance. All right. Oh, it's this and there's that until they get sick.
But you can't find a
All right.
Republican. I haven't found one Republican who said that that they would resist having kids on a health insurance until they're 26 years old.
Right. I haven't either.
Or providing for a pre-existing condition.
But those were not the two options. The proposal that the Republicans brought was not included in that.
But that's one that,
I know,
that's
but
where we all agree. Now, hang on, we got to start where we agree. Somebody said, well, why don't they just start with what we agree with? I think that was you, Denise. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what we're doing. The Affordable Care Act is here to stay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe that.
Now, we need to work that and allow it to move through the process so it becomes part of the landscape, the legal landscape, and have a dedicated budget pulled out of the budget every year dedicated to health care.
I agree
Now-
with that.
Now, our Michigan governor fought for it because he said it's helping our budget. Did you know that?
Yeah, I'm glad to see you support the governor.
No. I said,
Well, he didn't do anything.
You put words in her mouth.
I said Snyder supported staying with the affordable because he said it's helping
that's
our.
what you indicated.
No, I can
Well,
speak.
Snyder didn't do much, did he?
He hasn't done much. Right.
No,
I'm glad we're on the.
hang
No,
on
let's
to
go
the
back.
healthcare. Hang on to the healthcare issue.
Okay.
Did he help Michigan? Did he help Michigan families?
No,
He didn't.
not that I'm aware of.
Explain. If he accepted the money from Washington to improve.
But this is what
Healthcare.
your job is. Your job
Oh,
as
come
a
on.
leader is to give your state
I
everything that they need. That's ridiculous that different places
You've
like
changed the-
no, you just talked about it. Let's talk about it. Your Vice
Go ahead.
President Pence would not let Indiana receive those funds, and so now they have a big bottom line that they have to get rid of because he would not let them come in with the affordable health care. Yeah.
Okay, but
Okay, now
I don't
we'll
want
talk
to
about
dwell
something
on
I bet you
governor here.
didn't.
But
Okay.
he did accept the Affordable Care
Yes.
Act.
And we were happy.
And many people. Do you see Republicans complaining about that? No.
Well, yeah, they're
Most
complaining
of them are
because.
getting
Only people like you.
affordable.
No, I'm not an
affordable
Republican.
care. They're under it.
No.
But one of your
Your Congress, they're under this.
constituents
Yeah.
said that if we just not buy our cell phone, we could have insurance. You remember him? He couldn't go back to his home state. You remember?
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
They were letting him go back home.
They were gonna lynch him.
So this is how he belittled the affordable health care. He said that if we would not buy the new iPhone, we would be able to afford insurance. But he doesn't pay for his. And he doesn't pay for his iPhone either.
He had been doing no thinking during the day.
No.
And he's a Republican.
And as we have Republicans with
Oh,
character
okay.
flaws too.
Wow.
Wow, you
Really?
did. Oh my goodness.
And we can't even give you Trump because
And
he's
a
not a
person
Republican.
that has no character flaws isn't worth writing about or reading about.
Oh, is that how you get some friends?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Stop and think about that. If you don't have a character flaw, nobody's ever found you out and you have not done anything. Think about that.
That's how you become a Republican. Have character flaws and don't stand for anything. Okay, that's good.
Okay, maybe we should become Republicans. Huh?
No, I didn't say that only Republican. I said, if you don't have any character flaws, you have done nothing. Because people have not found you out. They don't know you.
You a secret?
You have not existed. But it's the people out there working in the interest of people, public service, for human beings, for Americans. Those are the ones that are making a difference. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's a paid for political announcement.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Guys, thank you.
I think one of the interesting things about the affordable, when you guys were going through the appeal and replace, is that when you looked at the face of America, because I believe that a lot of the Republicans didn't realize who it would really affect.
Right.
And when they saw all these people come out, it was the coal miners. I didn't know that they had a separate thing that they get through the government because of their type of work. I wasn't aware of that. And so it was so many.
Because the hazardous duty.
Yeah, so it was so many different faces of America that were shown, and I think we stood united at that time. So I think that was very good for us, and we need to continue to stand because I see they're back at work.
Yeah.
But you cannot resolve all problems through the eyes of a single individual or a single party.
I believe that.
It has to be bridged and worked together to give us the stable, rich, cultural nation that we aspire.
Well, that would be the job for your leader. And if Trump would spend more time trying to unify and work across the aisle instead of pitting folks against each other, then we would be able to move forward. And that's the question on everybody's mind. I don't know about you all, but I know that I probably watch more news now than ever.
Right.
Because I
Me
am
too.
so concerned about what's going to happen next. We have a leader right now who has just basically alienated this nation with all of the negative innuendos and things.
This nation was already divided.
But
It's been divided and growing worse every day.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you guys say, oh, there's a Republican elected Toledo. Let's jump on it. Let's pounce on him. Let's make him look bad.
You're not
No.
listening. You're not listening to me. You're not
I'm listening to you.
Here's what I'm saying.
Your position probably has not changed in 10 years.
My position, you do not know my position. So
I'm
you
gonna
can't
guess.
You can't speak on that. But what you can understand this, as I said earlier, people are paying attention. Those of us who are very concerned about our wealth, our health, our well-being, and the well-being of this country, knowing that each weekend we have somebody who goes off to Florida to golf and have fun, but yet criticize the previous administration when he took a legitimate vacation. Okay, now you must remember that each time this man goes to Florida and has his wife maybe fly on a separate jet, all of this is costing the taxpayers money. Okay, now if you are sincere about your leadership, then you should be thinking about the American people. I don't see that, which falls in line with this American Health Care Act and this reform. How in the world do you expect people to make it?
That's being worked on. That's being right now. What do we do? Promulgated, not promulgated, but the word is developed throughout the democratic process between the two houses and between the two parties and between the other institutions within government. It's a complex issue.
It sure is.
And we have to weigh it out. It doesn't happen overnight. You got to remember, you got 330 million people talking in this country. All are disaggregated. They're moving in different directions. We got to bring them together, and even for you got to develop plans among the leaders that they can accept. And everybody's going to have to give and take here, and that takes time and takes the process.
But it should start at the top. Because if you know that every time that you have, your wife is not staying in the White House, which again, new records.
I don't think that has anything to do
I'm not
with it.
done. It costs $500,000 a day to secure her in Trump Towers. And then we're paying for him to go to Florida every weekend, $3 million each time he goes. And he criticized everybody else about how Obama did all that stuff. He's golfed 17 times since he's been elected. At this time,
No problem with that.
in Obama's term, he had not golfed yet.
Well, I had no difficulty
But
with Obama.
it's
going
hard for you to
golfing
tell. It's
at
hard for you to
David,
tell America
Florida.
that they can't have insurance, but you can go to Florida when we have all these things going on in the United
I don't think
States.
that that's the issue.
It is the issue
No,
because
that
if you're
is
going
not
to
the
cut
issue.
something, the first cut should come from your president.
Exactly.
No, the first cut comes from Congress. Congress make the laws.
Congress is not telling him to go to Florida,
No, but we're talking about the laws,
but
right?
I'm saying he should not be able to take $3 million per weekend to go to Florida and make a Florida White House.
Well, I'm not sure that he's doing that. I saw that. I read that, but I'm not sure that I believe that.
He spent 17 times.
He has to make Washington, D.C. as the nerve center for the country.
But he's not.
No, it's really not.
Goes to Florida.
And also,
No,
and also, he's asked for $60 million more. Okay, and in a budget. All right.
For what?
From Secret Service funding to secure Trump Towers, $60 million and climbing. New York Police Department security in Trump Towers, $127,000 to $146,000 a day. All right. Elevator service ordered by the Secret Service, $64,000 a day. Air Force One flights to New York City, $180,000 an hour. Okay, I mean this is ridiculous. All right, but anyway, we're getting off. We're getting off.
Make America broke again.
You know what I mean?
How about
Exactly.
that?
Okay.
How about that?
Let's move on. Let's talk about
But
immigration.
now remember, he's working in the interest of American people.
He's working in the interest
But
for
we
himself.
don't know. No, we don't know
Okay.
that.
But anyway, we got to move on here. That's immigration policy. Sanctuary cities. Many cities across our nation have refused orders by U.S. Attorney Sessions to ignore his order to report all illegal migrants. Sanctuary cities are those cities that permit residents by illegals to help them avoid deportation. Trump has threatened to withhold billions in state grants. Many states have brought lawsuits against Sessions' orders. I was against Sessions way back when. All right. He swore up and then he lied too during his confirmation hearings. Mm-hmm. All right, that he didn't speak to the Russians. Okay, so he's another one. Okay, he's top law enforcement officer of the country and lies. Okay, and then he had problems when he was Attorney General of Alabama. Okay, now how these people get voted in or get confirmed is beyond me. Okay, regardless of the fact that he was a congressperson or what have you. All right, he pulled a wool over a lot of people's eyes, in my opinion. Okay.
One thing that colleges and universities can't teach, and that's honesty. They can't teach it to you, or me.
So what are they teaching them?
Within us.
So what are they teaching them?
can
They got
never tell.
They got lie classes.
No, we were talking about Sessions, okay?
Right.
He lied, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you teach that? Who teaches it? I don't want to dwell on it a lot of time,
No,
but
there's ethics and morals, and those things.
But I can't
those
speak to
things
that.
can be some of that's learned behavior. Certainly, there's certain things that are internal. But as you go on and you're moving into an office, public servant, that is the role of supposedly what these folks have signed on to, and yet, this situation unfolds with him not being honest and all of that, and having a record of not doing the right thing when he's supposed to. Okay, so here it is. But now we're looking at sanctuary cities, and sanctuary cities are places where people who have had some issues, being here, not being documented, and having maybe an opportunity to get things right or whatever. And now, instead of allowing a moratorium, if you will, to give people an opportunity to get things right or whatever, instead you want to sanction those people. You want to withhold billions of dollars in state funds and just basically shut down state government because you're not getting your way. Now, there's a problem with that. There's a big problem with that.
we knew that there was a problem. The people who are here illegally should not be here. Any more than you can go to Canada, Mexico, Russia, London, anywhere. without being admitted through the process.
Okay, and
And that should be the case here. But I do sympathize with you on one point. They tried to get it right, and I believe a lot of them protect the interest of the American economy because they work well. They work hard for this country. That's the one thing I have difficulty with. But the people who are here wreaking havoc and breaking the law, killing people, and stealing and stuff like that, I would have difficulty with that.
That's not an argument. I agree
Okay,
with you on that.
Yes, we're all, I think we're all on the same page with that.
Okay.
But when you're looking at a person who has been here 20 years
Yeah.
and has a family here
Yeah.
and is, as you say, working hard to maintain the economy of this country and whatnot, these kind of situations should be looked at on a case-by-case basis.
Maybe we need to write to the president.
Instead of talking about, well, we're just going to withhold the money.
Well, maybe we need to write to the president and ask the president to come up with the process so there is some apparent justice here. Even though we all make mistakes. And maybe in some of these cases, these mistakes could be forgiven. So we don't blanketly just...
Yeah, because he's tearing families apart. He's going to the schools. He's having these officers go to the school, and this one guy.
No, you can't go to the school.
But he's doing
But it's done.
He has gone to the school, Henry, and this guy was taking his son to school, and they had him arrested, and his child was in disbelief.
Oh, yeah.
So they are making new rules now that they cannot go to the schools.
One thing, they won't come to Clio and take any kids out.
Sure they will.
No, they won't.
Sure they will.
Because Henry going to stand in the door.
Stand in the
Henry
door.
is not going to let it happen. He's not going to let
But
it
notice
happen.
what she said. She said that the law enforcement came to pick up the dad, not the kid. You can't touch the kid inside the
But
school
the
district.
bottom line is, real quickly
There's a
here,
difference there. You
you're
guys need
still
to listen.
separating family
Right.
from the children and so forth. But it's been a great conversation, but unfortunately,
We're not done
again,
yet.
we ran out of time. But I want to thank our millions of viewers worldwide and our technical staff and our very talented and beautiful co-hosts. This is Ronald Barry Robinson and friends saying until next time, stay focused.